It's couch time. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel, ChrisCanHoop. And today we're back on the couch. It's been a while since we've been on the couch. I've been super busy. Today could be a podcast episode, could be just a random basketball rant, but I had to say it. And this is the problem with social media basketball. There's a difference between a hooper who just happens to use social media as a platform to grow a business or showcase what I can do as a trainer, things like that, versus someone who's truly a social media hooper. They go with the gimmicks, they go with the trends, things like that. But they really are not like basketball people. They're like okay, but they couldn't hold their own like if they play competition. CashNasty misled a bunch of y'all. Here's why I say that. Love Cash. Cash is a great personality on the internet. Hooper, definitely not. When you make up phrases or things like that, they do have impact, okay? I'm not a hooper. I'm just a hooper. I get it. I get what you're going for. But unfortunately, there's been a mass culture of people who have followed along with this concept, and it's just a fallacy. There's no such thing as a hooper versus a hooper. You know what I'm saying? Repeating it twice doesn't make it better or anything like that. Yes, there are levels to the game of basketball, okay? You got your high school level, college level, semi-pro, professional, right? But once you get past a certain point, you're a hooper. Once you're below a certain point, you just play basketball. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. Hoopers can get it by any means. They can play against anybody. Win, lose, doesn't matter. They can at least hold their own, right? Basketball players, they're just casual, right? I'll go to the park today and I'll just, I'll play with whoever's there. If not, I'm just going to shoot around. They don't really put in that much work into their sport or their craft. That's someone who plays basketball. CashNasty, FlightReacts. There's also a skill level thing too. If you're below a certain skill level, you just play basketball. Julian Newman. I'd even say Gio Wise is better than Julian Newman at this point. Like if you look at their college careers, I mean, they're both really not that great, but like Gio Wise, the eye test, he just looks better playing college than Julian Newman. But that's going to be a whole separate video down the line. There are levels, but they're really not that distinct. Like CashNasty's not a hooper. CashNasty is a gamer bodybuilder who happens to play basketball sometimes, and he doesn't really know the rules or play by the rules at all. You know what I mean? He just uses strength and size to his advantage. That doesn't mean he's a hooper. He's not. And that brings me to this next point. Argue with your mama on this one. CashNasty and FlightReacts are the same level of basketball player. I said it. Argue with your mama, not me. You see that wall right there? You see this one right here? Go argue with them, because you can't argue with me. They're the same level of player. The only difference is CashNasty is bigger and indulges in less green substances than FlightReacts. That is really the only difference. I'll do a little bit of a breakdown, but this is not going to be the video where we go ahead and break down their entire playstyle. That's that good water, filtered. FlightReacts can't shoot threes, drives in, misses a lot under the basket, gets the occasional look, the occasional three, and this is all 1v1 analysis, doesn't make smart plays, and thinks he's way better than he is. What is CashNasty? I'll wait. They're the exact same thing. Only difference, Cash is bigger, stronger, and can get away with a lot of things that are technically either fouls or travels or carries. Somehow he gets away with a lot more than Flight can, and it's just because he's bigger. But they're literally the exact same player. Like, watch them side by side. If you actually analyze their game and like pay attention to film, they're the same player. But in a team setting, argue with your mama. Flight is a better team basketball player than CashNasty will ever be. Watch anytime Flight has played team ball, watch anytime Cash has played team ball. If it's like anything over a 2v2, Cash is not really that useful, I'm not gonna lie. And it's not attacking Cash, because Cash is a really good content creator. Cash has been entertaining generations for the past 40 years, bruh. But the thing is, like, in terms of pure basketball skill, I'm willing to put up my life savings on my little brother versus Cash. In terms of skill, just is what it is. I know Cash probably don't care. Cash is like 30 something by now. He probably don't care. But a lot of y'all care, and it's time to break it down. Cash and Flight are the exact same level of basketball player on a 1v1 analysis. When it comes to team ball, Flight is objectively better than Cash in a team situation. Look at any team ball. If you look at the 2 hype versus Savage Squad 5v5, Cash did absolutely nothing. Had no impact on play. Any 2 hype 5v5 versus anybody that's not SneakerCon. SneakerCon, they're not really playing comp. They're just playing for fun. Look, even Kenny. I'm not a Kenny hater. I just like to troll Kenny because it gets him, gets him heated. He gets a little mad sometimes. I remember he tried to roast me like 3 years ago on TikTok. And I'm like, bro, Kenny, if it wasn't COVID, I'd fly out there and 7-0 you right now. Kenny, look, y'all, that's the next topic, Kenny. Y'all be hating on Kenny. Kenny can hoop, okay? Kenny's a hooper. He may make some pretty stupid and bad on-court decisions, but Kenny's a hooper. Kenny's a dog, bruh. He can hang. Problem is, one, he's short. Two, he gets a lot of disrespect, but I kind of get it a little bit because he does whine a lot. But that don't mean he can't hoop, though. He can hoop. Kenny is literally what Julian Newman and Gio Wise could be if they actually learned to play basketball. If Julian Newman ever progressed from like his 8-year-old self, because let's be real, Julian Newman has not progressed since then. Still the same spam dribbles, still the same combos, doesn't really go anywhere when he dribbles. That's dribbling, that's not handles, that's a different video. And then he's not a scorer. In a 1v1 setting, the only reason he wins, if it's less than if it's unlimited dribbles, is simply because he tires out the opponent, he's faster, and he'll blow by them after he's dribbled for 20 minutes on the same spot. I literally have it in a reaction when it was the Julian Newman versus Cash, I want to say. Dude dribbled for like almost 60 seconds straight and went nowhere. He didn't even try to like make a shot attempt or an attempt to go to the basket. None of that. If Julian Newman ever progressed from his 8-year-old self and actually like learned basketball instead of spam dribbling and the gimmicks and stuff like that, he would be Kenny Chow. Kenny Chow is better than Julian Newman. Argue with your mama, not me. Gio Wise, if he ever stopped the gimmicky basketball, he would be objectively a little bit better than Kenny if he like applied himself and stopped listening to Kenny Dobbs. Don't get me started on him. It's just facts though. But there's no such thing as a hooper versus a hooper versus a hoopist versus like a basketball player. Either you can hoop or you can't. It's really that simple, to be honest. Argue with your mama, not me.